So welcome everybody to our presentation, our demo. And our demo today is about our Turbo Toolkit, our full stack application solution in less than 10 minutes. So let's take a look. What do we have? So basically what we end up with, what we will guide you through this demo is a customized front end, a customized project, front end as well as back end. And the result of today will look like that. It's pretty simple, but it has everything already customized from the settings from our project generator. So basically you can later on see how we customized like the menu, the navigation. You can see how we customize the colors. You can see how we customized the name and everything. And this is also working with mobile applications. So if we just quickly switch over to and go for the iPad Pro, for example, oh no, let's take like the iPhone 14 Max. It looks like that. So everything is already responsive design. And later on, you will also see how the elements will look like in the preview on the customizer directly on our generator tool. So in the background, I just get you a brief overview how this is handled or what you will end up with. You will have a completely customized GitHub repository generated by our generator tool, including your settings, your project name, and everything that had been configured on the front side. Let's take a look to the next steps. So Julian, welcome. Really nice to have you here. So for the people which don't know you yet, could we have a short introduction, please?
Yes, sure. Thank you very much. My name is Julian Sunten. I'm a cloud architect based in Aachen in Germany. I used to work for almost 8 years in a software development industry. I started at E.ON, a German energy distributor, and since almost 4 years, I'm founder and owner of the ASAPs, which is also a software development agency. We do everything that runs on mobiles and on your web browser. And also offer you some cloud expertise, and we're pretty proud to announce also that we are a partner of the InnoStep IT. So thank you, Amadeus, for this opportunity, and that's everything about me for now.
Well, thank you very much. So shortly about me, just a few sentences. As Julian already mentioned, we have like a corporation for this kind of project currently. And my background is more like the software architecture and software development, also in the web technologies, mostly focused in this case about Microsoft technologies, also about the Microsoft Azure Cloud. And my own company is named InnoStep IT, as already mentioned. So we also have an agency where we develop and create software solutions which are in the right direction of the customer, what the customer needs, and also fitting for long-term value and scalable solutions. So enough about me. I'm really happy to have this kind of presentation today, and let's don't waste time and go on with the other topics. This is just a meme where we notice this is really fitting the real world, like not in the theory, but what is done in the most software projects. So software is somehow designed, so it should be something like that. And then there's like a time span on the project. So in this case, the project is a cat, but before the beta test, it looks like this. And then afterwards, it looked like that. So it's not 100% how it had been designed. And like how it's sold, like sold to the customer, it's like that. But really, nobody knows about what the customer wanted. And in the end, after a few few updates, the software looks like that. So completely different, completely mixed up. And actually, that's not how it should be. And this is where we came from. So what we noticed is there's a gap, and the gap should be closed. And actually, we had been thinking about an approach about an effective way to really have a solution fitting the requirements in the end, having it at the speed and implementation speed, actually, development speed, that is acceptable, having a good quality and having a set of features that is requested by the customer, that is valuable for the business and is creating some solution for the customer. And in the middle, we wanted to meet because we want to have the best of all worlds. We want to have the features, we want to have the quality, and we want to have it delivered in mostly no time.
One of the most common problems, it's point one. It's reinventing the wheel. As we just saw, we have plenty of UX elements, and I've been on so many projects, especially also for enterprise projects, where for each project they started designing like UX and UI flows and even elements. And to be honest, that is why we created this white label solution. And I mean, there's lots of libraries, and that's nothing new. But the thing that really slows down project is like doing things again, which were already done by other developers. And now we are in 2024, so modern web applications have standards, and in terms of accessibility and in terms of user friendliness, you really don't have to invent everything from scratch. There are best practices, and that is what we want to facilitate, and where we want to motivate our customers to use things which were already done by developers which put a lot of time in that and did nothing else but creating perfect elements and following standards. Otherwise it would slow down your team. The same thing is like design alignment. You already show it in the presentation. I mean, of course, if you use a ready designed UI library, for example, there is a need to point out your CI, for sure. I mean, that's probably one of the main reasons why so many companies decided to do it on their own, because they fear that once they're using some other UX, it wouldn't point out their CI, it wouldn't fit. But that is actually a solvable problem, and we solved it just by making a UI library complete customizable. So that is why you can change colors, why you can change the radius, why you can change the shadows in our generator. So and also this is playing in the same on the same bill in the end, because I mean, you're saving a lot of implementation time if you just reuse what is already there. And I mean, high development effort. I'm not sure if we could skip that already, as I stated for point 2 already. Of course, the thing that takes a lot of time is design. And the last thing for sure is no standards. I mean, this is a issue that a lot of developers are suffering from, especially developers which come after a while into a existing project, especially if it goes about, or if it is about scaling a project, scaling up.
Thank you very much. So if I understood it right, especially like the last point, if you have like 10 or 20 different projects and everything looks different, this is a big problem, right?
Yeah, that's a big problem, because I mean, imagine you're a developer and each time you have to start from scratch to see where everything is situated, where the code patterns are, and how the code patterns would look like. So yeah, it increases time, because it's like onboarding every time again somebody.
Oh, I understand totally. Yes.
Yeah.
So and I think that one point you already mentioned somehow is about like the maintenance as well. Like everything is tailor-made, everything is beginning from the start, and you don't have like an option or some potential to have like some synergies between the different projects. because every project is different. And also, what is like the end result in all those kind of projects is like a long development cycle, and this will also increase in the end, like the time to market. So shortly explained, like the time you can make money with your product, selling it to a customer and having like first review and some feedback by customers. And definitely this is also a big problem later on. If you have like 10 projects and all those 10 projects need like 6 months development time instead of 3, this is already 30 months wasted or not effectively used for going to the market with the products. All right, that's like the problem we had been coming from, the problems we had seen in the market, also on customer side sometimes, and also from experience. And we had to think about a solution. So just shortly explained like the traditional workflow. Julian had been explaining this kind of stuff on a brief level already. Like we have like a brand design where we like, okay, we have our brand colors. Like let's say you have a red logo, you have like a special font which you use in your UI on your website and everything. And then this is going to the requirements. So what kind of features do you want to implement in this kind of application? Let's say you want to have a login, you want to have like a dashboard with some kind of numbers that is important to the users and whatever. And afterwards, this will go to the development team. As soon as the development team is ready to implement it and to develop it, it will be delivered to the users. So to the stakeholders, basically. As soon as they have seen the results and get some feedback on what is currently like the state and the result of the development, they will give the feedback back to the requirements in case there are some adjustments required. Let's say there was some additional login requested. Let's say you don't only want to have like a login via GitHub, you also want to have a login via Google. And this is like feedback that needs to go to with the requirements engineering as well, where they're like, hey, we have a new topic, we need some adjustments on the product. And this is going the whole cycle again. This is like the traditional workflow, which is used in the most customer projects or like in most software projects in general. To this topic, we had also done a survey on LinkedIn actually, where we had been asking about the time spent to get a project, so a software project started from the get-go. And we had some interesting results. Actually, this request or this survey has been done in German, but shortly the question had been, as I mentioned, how many weeks had been taken in your projects, so in your applications in general, to have it started and delivered to the customers, to the users as a basic application. And like what was really shocking to us was the result. It was more like at least like 3 weeks, but we had been in contact with the people who answering this kind of survey, and more likely the result was not only like weeks, it was more likely at least like 2 months in general, and not only like with one developer, but more likely with a team of developers. So we had seen some big potential to make this more efficient, to optimize this kind of get-go starting process where we just configure the project and have a foundation to start with. And as soon as this is done, we can start to deliver features and to deliver value to the customers and go to the market in mostly no time. So as we had seen like the traditional workflow previously, and we have also seen some numbers, or we just collected some numbers to get an impression like where the time is spent on the projects. So let's take a closer look. And the effort, as already mentioned, had been more likely months and several months. And actually, what they are working on the most time is like the development and the product delivery for sure. But they also were spending time on the brand design, corporate design, so everything like has to do with colors, has to do with style, everything in this feel and look. And also they work a big time on the quality assurance and feedback. So they have a lot of feedback loops, as we see on the left side. And like the least time is spent on the collection of requirements and prioritize them. Therefore, this big block has to be optimized somehow. And especially like the project setup, so the development of the project foundation is a big part which can be optimized with a big optimization. That's like what we just noticed from the numbers. And now we have like the demo just to show you how you can use this and how we solve this kind of workflow and this kind of problems which we had me talking about earlier.
So here we are in the surface of our project generator. What you see here is the surface where you can set up and style your applications, and where you set up the properties for your project generation, like project name. You can also choose from different templates. In this case, for this demo, we added one template, which is a Angular .NET template, so it contains the full stack application, front-end and back-end. And I would like to quickly introduce you what kind of options we have and what our result was. I mean, you saw our result already. Now I would like to show you how we get there, or how we got there, and how we are able to actually adjust our complete UX and actually manipulate our generated project. So before I start by just adjusting some colors and stuff, I would like to give you a brief overview of the whole application. So in our generator application on the left side, we have a library with plenty of UX elements. So here we are on the form layout. We have plenty of input components. We have labels. We have tables. We have menus, media options. So literally everything I don't want to go to each navigation point, but literally everything you need for a modern web or a mobile web application. So that's basically it. And the good thing is we're able to adjust everything. So for example, if we take these buttons, let's take the button here, it's clear to see. We can actually adjust all the colors, for example, for the primary color, for the info color. So it even brings the work for UX designers to a new set, because we cannot just also adjust colors, we can also adjust like radiance and ripple effects, outlines, so we can turn outlines on, off, and literally we can almost do everything. We can even switch to a light mode representation. So everything that was common and evaluated in web development, especially in UX in the last years, is implemented here, and it's a gigantic set without any limits. So yeah, that's what we are a bit proud of, to be honest. Right, Amadeus?
Yeah, of course. Like I got a short question, like just explaining or understand for our listeners, what are we capable of? I got it right. We have like a web interface, which you currently present. And there we have like a preview, if I understood it right, of everything that we set up in the web interface as a preview, how our application will look up in the end. Is this correct?
Yeah, this is correct. So
wonderful. Yes.
Everything you see here down below, this is the section where we have our UX elements, are elements which are then available for the developers in their TurboKit generated project. So And yeah, as I said, I think it's a couple of hundreds of elements. We didn't count them, but literally from every category, we have stuff that fulfills the needs. Now I would like to just show you how to actually submit a design project. So imagine I just went for some setup here. I show this this navigation, and I changed the bottom color. Let's remember what we have here, so we can compare that again with our result. But yeah, I can just submit it. The only thing I have to do for it is I have to give it a name. So in my case, I will call it Tenerife 2, and I give it the same description just for now. I mean, later you can also give it a custom description. It will be also printed out in your README file, so you can already set up your project here. And as I said, we have one demo template here, which is a AngularNet full stack template. I select that, and I only press generate here. Okay, now what happened is it asked me to sign in. Why does it ask me? Why do we do that? I mean, designing your stuff and just generating a thing is one thing, but of course, this is a living project. So maybe you want to come back later and continue on your design steps. So that's why we offer you to just create an account so you can later load your different projects from the project name select field and work on or continue to work on that later. So for me, I will just choose Google, but you can also sign up with GitHub. I have to open the application again. This is because it was embedded in our website, but that shouldn't bother you. So yeah, you can sign in with Google, with GitHub, or with email address and password. And now you see I'm logged in. And here under the dropdown, I only have this one project, but in general, I would have here all the other projects. I just press generate, and now the magic happens in our magic black box, where we set up this full stack Angular.NET project, which we just saw. So yeah, that's it basically. Yeah, thank you. So we have a lot of things to do, and we planned a lot for 2024. Our roadmap is super full. The first thing we will start with in the first quarter is that we are not only compatible for Azure DevOps, but we are also compatible for other Git platforms like GitHub and GitLab. As far as I know, we are already we have achieved that already. So yeah, we are in the middle of January. As far as I know, this is already done. So the second thing for quarter one was that we give you the opportunity to upload your CI logos, and not just your logos, also your fav icons. So this was actually an advice from yeah, one of our project partners. So that will make it a little bit more seamless for you. Once you create your project, you don't have to replace the pictures and images, but you can maintain it from our interface already. So it makes everything a bit more neat and seamless. Then, if we look on quarter two, there is a big thing to announce, because currently we're only compatible for web applications, browser applications, and mobile applications that run in the browser. With the implementation of Electron, we facilitate that you can also use our generator to generate desktop applications, so executable applications for Mac, Linux, or Windows. And this will be a game changer, just because the target audience will be way bigger and will increase. So we put a lot of effort in that, and yeah, it will be a great thing. So I look forward to see that. to be done. So the next thing is, as you saw in our presentation, we have a template selection, but currently it's like you select, in our case, it was Angular and .NET full stack. So our next target is to split that up so you can choose your front-end and back-end technology separately. So whatever fits to your needs, you can go in the front-end and select whatever Angular, React, and in the back-end you can choose from C#, Nest.js, whatever. So you're not bounded to pre-designed full stack templates anymore. You can have a bit more flexibility here and choose what's best for your project, for your stack. The next thing is node projects will be combined in NX monorepos. That basically means if you choose in front and in back end different technologies which are both based on Node.js, it makes, for example, sense to deliver them already in a combined monorepo. That is what we aim to. So, for example, you select React for the front end and you select Express for the backend, then it will be shipped in a NX monorepo, which makes maintenance even easier for you, and which is which becomes best practice in these times. So the first point in the second quarter I talked about it already is like the executable files for Electron. The thing about I didn't say it in the first step was it will for sure implement a auto updater. So once you're working on your application, your users don't have to download the application again. So no, they will just get a notification there is an update for this application, and they can actually update it inside the app. So like a normal app as you know it, it will be updated and maintainable. And the last thing is something that is probably not surprising you, as 2023 was already all about AI. We also plan some AI features, for example, to generate with color sets. So we are not, we won't implement AI just to implement AI because it's fancy or something. No, we want to create really useful features. So, for example, if you're a startup and you are not sure about your CI yet, then you could ask our generator to give you suggestions for fitting color sets for your projects. And that is what I can tell you right now about AI integrations, but I'm pretty sure this AI thing will grow up, and once it's open for the community, there will be a lot of more ideas we can follow along. So for the last 2 quarters of the year, then it's what I just introduced. It's about making this thing more public to other developers. So what we are heavily working on is creating a good developer doc, and we want to have a seamless integration and we want to facilitate a really good developer experience. So why do we want that? We want to use also like your ideas. We wanna push our own project by your community ideas, and I'm pretty sure that this will accelerate this project so much once we are open for everybody to contribute actually to our project. It will be a great thing for sure. A second point here is that we also want to increase the amount of deployment configurations. So currently we are compatible to deploy our projects in Microsoft Azure, which is great, but as we know, there is also other cloud platforms we have to support. So that's why the next steps will be also to implement Vercel and Google Cloud just to also give you more flexible in your deployment options, flexibility. And the last thing will be a payment provider. It's probably not the last payment provider we want to create a setup for, but planned is that we also start with a Stripe implementation, which is especially if you want to create SaaS applications or online shops, very useful, as you have a complete payment integration tool that offers you everything from collecting payments to to sending boats and everything what a payment provider offers. So that's a lot, I think. We planned.
Wow.
Really a lot, but it's amazing to see how this project grows, and I see forward to see these things to be done.
Wow, that's really a lot of topics. I'm always impressed, like see what's upcoming, what we can do, what's possible. So thank you so much for explaining what's planned for the next quarters. So Julian,
Yeah.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
How can we get this started? So how can I use it?
This is actually super complicated. You only have to scan the QR code and then you can start right now.
Wow. Okay. So
if you have a smartphone camera, just scan the code right now and you can start today.
Oh, perfect. So don't waste time. Just try it out and send us your feedback, how it's going for you. Have fun and start with the project now, I would say, in no time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Amadeus.